on his feet. Now he's got to try him all 4 feet, laying on the other side. There it is, the flag drop shot. How about no Darren's dad, Jordan Bill, one of the top judges in the North Queensland circuit. Alley-oop. Okay, and it's out in the arena. Campbell sitting behind that car. Got to get him running straight. Hey, car to them. They've probably got one of the biggest men in the event. Early tough cowboy when it comes to the saddle on riding. Now he's having a little more trouble than he would like. Goes through the motion. Drop this guy. Come on, ladies and gentlemen. He's not going to win any prize. Very rodeo on the 6.05. He's up a second. Hands rodeo on the time. 6-1 out of approach. He's got one down. Looking at time for a short. Number 1 man, good riding here this weekend, moves down, gets to see him by the inside more, stand up, stick it on him, hey, come on Mount Isa, come alive, Teresa.
Australia's richest and biggest rodeo attracts characters from the expected and not so expected locations.
Bridget, up Campbell.
Viva l'Italia!
Howdy, Mt Isa. I'm from Port Lincoln, South Australia. And I think this is the greatest rodeo in Australia.
In 1992, the crowd were ready for action from the best rodeo stock and the best cowboys and cowgirls in the country. A week before the working bee gets underway, Rotarians putting the finishing touches to Calcadoon Park for the big weekend. Panels are put up to shorten the width of the arena, fences are fixed, signs are spruced up, the chutes need a bit of work, and the arena's ploughed up under the direction of Russell Collins.
The idea is to plough it up like we're doing now to make it softer for the animals to work. It's a little bit easier on their legs and obviously their muscles because they work fairly hard. They're bucking. We've got time event stock cattle and also pickup teams, so it's important to have a soft surface for the animals and very important for the humans if they land, that they get a reasonably soft landing too.
And true to form, veteran Mt Isa Dulcie Bryson pulls out her laughing clowns to help raise money for local charities, an integral part of the Rotary Rodeo. You had these same clowns for 17 years?
Yes, but in a different position. This is the first year they've been on this side.
Is your nose out of joint out of being moved?
Oh no, as long as I'm working on the clown heads, I'm right.
Road trains bring the Brumbies in from Carrandotta Station down Urandangi Way, and they make up the bulk of the stock to be used in the bareback and saddle bronc. However, most attention is concentrated on Gary McPhee's stable of champion rodeo stock, including the 6 times champion bull of Australia, Chainsaw, and Toss Up, the 6 times bareback horse of the year. That's voted by the country's top riders. Gary says Chainsaw's looking good.
If they're not feeling very well, I don't think they'll buck very good, but these bulls are feeling good and they've come 3,000 kilometres and I think they'll buck really good here.
Gary bought the 9-year-old bull for $3,000. He's since been offered $10,000. Gary says the record stands at 3 cowboys going the distance out of 1,400 attempts. Anyone who's ridden him for the 8 seconds has scored a winning ride. What makes him so special?
It's just his, probably his athletic ability. You know, when he comes out of the chutes, he jumps high and he rolls right on his side and he just does anything, you know, and he's really spectacular.
What do you reckon has made him like that?
Well, I think it's just we've done no different with him than any other bull. It's just his character.
With everything in place for the rodeo, the weekend kicks off with the notorious Mardi Gras. Pubs are open to 5 a.m. Streets which usually look like this are transformed. thousands packed downtown Mount Isa for an all-night party, with drive-ins becoming walk-ins, and an hour-long parade with floats ranging from the conventional to the bizarre. It's hard to move in the bars. There must have been the biggest concentration in the world at that moment of moleskins and akubras per square metre. And it wouldn't be a fair dinkum Aussie party without a good brawl, care of Brophy's boxing troupe. Those who could pick themselves up the next morning went out to the rodeo. Competition had already started with rounds of calf roping, team roping, steer wrestling and the cowgirls in breakaway roping. North Queensland cowboy Joe Kyle, better known as Country on the circuit, had drawn chainsaw and was playing it pretty cool.
No, he's not feared.
Yeah.
He's like, there's a lot of bulls that are a lot worse. Don't buck and just, you know, they're going to hurt you. He's the bull that the bull riders want to draw because, you know, I think there's only a selected few that have rode him, and
3 out of 1,400.
4 out of 1,401.
You know exactly, eh? You've done a bit of research.
I've studied him a lot on video, and I think a lot of fellas have got it out of their mind that this bull is going to throw them. You know, they get there and they try, but I think they're bucked off before they get on him. Whereas to me, he's just another bull, but he's the best one of them all. You know, I'm just going to get on him like I'm getting on him in a practice pen. There ain't no rodeo here, and there isn't any money involved.
The 27-year-old cowboy from McKinley had drawn the champion bull once before at Lismore and reckons there might be life for Chainsaw even after rodeos.
Well, I think if the showies could get a ride like it, they'd get a lot of money to get on them.
But there was plenty of competition before Country had to mount Chainsaw. Tamworth cowboy Dave Halium takes us through the calf roping.
Well, in the calf roping event, the cowboy he's mounted on a horse with a rope which is attached to the saddle horn. Also, he has another little string which is called a piggin string. Now, it ties the calf's 3 legs up. Now, once the cowboy, there's a barrier put across in front of the horse with another rope attached to the calf's head. Now, the calf has got to be let out. For instance, here, he's got to be let out 18 foot before the actual cowboy can leave the box. Once he gets into the arena, he's got to rope the calf round the neck, and then it's all up to the cowboy. The fastest he can get down there and tie the calf down is the fastest time wins.
The calf rope turned into a showdown between the top 2 contenders for the champion all-round cowboy. Veteran Victorian and 4-time all-round national champion Gary McPhee and the novice North Queenslander Shane Kenny. After round 1, Kenny was placed first with a time of 12.6 seconds. His second round ride was just as sharp.
Shane's let his calf out, he's let him out of fairway, he's running up there. Makes a good catch, dismounts good, down there, gets a good flank, strings the front leg, slow, calf kicks his front leg, but there it is. Made a little bit of a fumble with his tie, which probably cost him a little bit, but a good solid run.
Okay, with his first round yesterday, you reckon he's a good chance?
That's an excellent chance, yes, just a good solid run. He didn't make any mistakes and he slowed down, and that's all you've got to do in a 2-head contest is just get both calves tied down.
But it wasn't fast enough. Alex Campbell scoring the fastest time of the competition with 11.9 seconds in the second round. And Gary McPhee scored the best aggregate of the 2 rounds with 26.25. Kenny took second place, but he wasn't going to take a back seat. He again challenged the veterans in the team roping. Victorian cowboy Wayne Banney describes team roping as one of rodeo's more technical events.
Team roping's an event that's been introduced to rodeo, same as all the other events from the working of cattle out in the range. Team roping can be used out in the paddock for cattle that need doctoring. There might be Mickey bulls that need marking, branding, whatever. And what it consists of is a team of a header and a heeler. The header's job is to catch the steer. There's 3 legal catches, one around the horns, one around the neck, or half head. They're the only 3 legal catches. And what the header does is to catch the steer and then turn it off to the left. The heeler's job is to come in and try and rope that steer by both back feet. One back foot will be a 5-second penalty.
The high degree of accuracy and timing needed is borne out in the number of teams that don't score.
Doug Cannell is quite an accomplished cowboy. He's had trips to the USA. He's quite a good header. This could be a good time. He's from Melbourne, and the guy he has heeling for him, Peter Everson, he's also a Melbourne-based cowboy. Okay, Doug's got the steer caught round the horns. He turns him off to the left. Now, he needs to try and control the direction of that steer so that Peter can come in and gather the two back feet. As you see, there's another heeler goes out with nothing.
Dubbo's Neville McCarthy and Shane Kenny scored equal first, both getting times of 9.8 seconds. After commentating, Wayne Banney placed equal second with a time of 10.6 seconds. Meanwhile, Northwest Queensland cowboy Joe Kyle was limbering up for his showdown with Chainsaw in the first round of the bull ride.
Is he sticking that strategy?
Which strategy was that? I've had a lot of strategies run through my head. Oh, just, taking jump to jump and just see what happens, you know.
How are the nerves?
Pretty good, but the whole adrenaline really start pumping when I get over the top of him. But I just try and keep as calm as possible. He's just another bull, really, but just the best one of them all.
He made it past Chainsaw's legendary horizontal roll and stuck to him even after he fell. Some cowboys saying he was unlucky not to have been awarded a re-ride. He copped a horn in his forehead as Chainsaw rose, but he wasn't badly injured.
Yeah, I'm fine. Just, and he fell down on me because I sort of out on him. Yeah. I was going for my tail. He sort of come back around, just hit me with his horn, Man, he felt like he cleared there, I'll tell you. Been on him before. I don't think he cleared that much ground because there's something extra. Yeah. But, I sort of tried to stick it to him, but
not this time.
He is unbelievable, that bull, I don't think there's another bull in the world like him. And as far as bulls goes, he's a legend in America and he's never even been there.
Despite the injury, Joe says he's keen on giving Chainsaw another go.
I hope I draw him at Lowood or he'll be down there. So I'll have another larrup. I think he was a bit fresher than I was.
Chainsaw was brought out again during the weekend for the feature ride with Nambour's Eddie Fisher, the 1984 and 85 bull riding champion of Australia. But he lasted less than a second. Matthew Speedy from the Gulf Country was the eventual winner of the bull ride with a first round 76-point ride, and in the final he scored 80, riding Goldie Horn. The highest scoring bull ride of the weekend went to Luke Lindley in the first round with 82. '91 year-end champion cowboy Steve Hilton from Warwick has stopped riding bulls, but he's still one of the best bareback riders in the country. He's third in the national standings going into the Isa.
Yeah, the bareback riding is a 8-second contest. The contestant must ride his horse for 8 seconds. It's a one-hand event. If he touches the horse or himself with the free hand, he is automatically disqualified. When the horse first jumps out of the chute, was what's called, you must mark the horse out, which means you've got to have your spurs in or past to break the horse's shoulders when his front feet hit the ground.
Each of the 2 judges marks Cowboys out of 50.
Judges are looking for a style in the bareback ride that sort of they like to see their body back but in control, and what they do, they run the free running rails up the horse's neck and back every jump.
Ian Collins placed first in the bareback with an aggregate after 2 rounds of 151. Tony Heckshear, who scored the highest ride of the weekend with 81 in the first round, placed second.
Motion's going as he goes out across the flat. And a qualified ride for a former champ of Australia, Tony Heckshear. Going up the right now, the Cowboys from Wharton, Queensland. Hey, no doubt a ride of this guy. There's the style of a former Australian champion. Come on, Steve. It's on well under David Hilton, riding Queensland. A former champion. 1 point in the first round. I'll see you again in the general. Eddie Collins out now. Little fellow, but I tell you what, he's still sitting up there doing a great job. It's time for a roll with Cowboys, Eddie Collins. Okay, out now into Mt Isa Arena, Ian Collins. It's the laid back style and squared up the front of the judges from the scene. That's the way Mt Isa, another qualified ride coming up.
Townsville-based Boilermaker Jared Felt drew toss-up in the feature horse and was feeling good before the event.
The horse has been ridden a lot of times and a lot of guys have won a lot of money on it. I've never been on the horse, but it's a good opportunity to see how well I'd go on.
So how do you psych yourself up for it?
Like a lot of guys say that they psych themselves up. I don't believe in that. I think if you just ride, just like if you're jumping on your push bike to ride down to the shop to buy a can of Coke and a Mars bar, it's just that's your job.
The Mars bar approach came up trumps, Jared mastering the champion bucking horse later that night. In the 2 rounds of steer wrestling, Taroom's Brett Botell came out on top with an aggregate of 16.95 seconds. Jeff Miller, last year's New South Wales calf roping champion, says steer wrestling is 80% style and a lot of the smaller cowboys can bulldog better than their larger counterparts.
The hazer will be on the, you'll notice he'll be on the right-hand side of the steer. He'll just try and keep the steer running straight for him so that they can get him. They'll probably be looking to try and catch the steer about a third of the way down the arena and get a good catch on him and stop him from there.
Okay, and what's any special technique in getting him to the ground?
There's a lot of technique in it. A lot of people look at the big men and think they could make bulldogs, but we have a lot of little guys that are good bulldogs because there's a lot of technique. What you'll notice is what they want to try and do is catch the steer out of the saddle and take his head across to the left hip, and when the steer's nose comes around their body, they take the nose and throw that back over their left shoulder. Okay, well, the first bull there is Neville McCarthy. The steer's just getting away on him a little bit. Then you'll see Neville makes a good catch. Just loses his feet there on that steer, and he'll have to get up. That's probably a fair bit of bad luck there with that steer. Steer's just going to dogfall on him there now. You'll notice the steer has to be thrown over on the same side that they catch him. And that's time there. That run probably won't win him nothing here this year at the Bulldogging.
Shane Kenny was again showing form and looked good for a place in the steer wrestling.
Very close to the barrier there. We'll have to wait for the judge. Got a good catch on the steer. Good steer, and the steer dog falls again on him. That's the time. That's sort of doing pretty good as long as he hasn't broke that barrier.
But Kenny did break the barrier and ended in 6th. Gary McPhee scored 3rd with 19.85, coming in behind Chris Gravener. Nearly $5,000 was up for grabs in the saddle bronc. 1991 national saddle bronc champion Kevin Cooper said cowboys would have to score in the 80s to win top spot at the Isa.
He's trying to get him to buck, really buck, you know. There's no use the horse jumping out there and just taking off. If you spur him in the neck, he's going to buck really good, you know. Get him shortened up, they call it, and make him really buck. That's the main thing about bronc riding.
Ken Reid holds the highest point score from a bronc ride in Australia of 89. Got that at the Gunnedah Rodeo. He was drawn in the Isa on a horse called Lily.
There he goes, and he started this horse good. Horse getting in the air, he's after him, chasing him with his feet. Just a little bit behind him there, he's riding good there now.
However, he was to finish out of a place at the Isa. Blackall's Tom Christensen top scored in the first round and got equal third in the second to take the title from Coomer's Robert O'Toole. 20-year-old Andrew Burke from Marlborough in central Queensland got third in only his second pro rodeo. The Cowgirls contested 2 barrel races and breakaway roping. Former jockey Lindsay, now based in the Hunter Valley, explains breakaway roping.
Right, the breakaway roping is the girls' event for the roping, and they have to catch a calf in the same way that the guys do, but we have a breakaway rope attached to the saddle horn, and it's tied on with 3 pieces of string, and there's a coloured flag tied onto the end of the rope, and when the girl ropes the calf, it has to pass over the calf's head and draw up anywhere on its body, and the time is taken is from when the rope breaks from the saddle horn, and that's when the flag judge will flag them, and that's their time.
Teresa Jones was seen as a good chance.
Well, now here she comes. She looks to me as though she has gotten out, and this looks like a very good catch for Teresa. That's great. That would probably be under the 5 seconds. Let's hope that she made it out of the barrier without the 10-second penalty.
She didn't incur the penalty and placed equal third, winning nearly $400. Terry Lillyman clinched second in the breakaway roping with a time of 4.15 seconds, and a first placing in one of the barrel races was enough to see her win the all-round Cowgirl Champions buckle.
Cowgirl of Australia, and I tell you what, she is certainly a great all-round contestant. From Richmond, North Queensland, Terry Lillyman. Ladies and gentlemen, as she makes that third drum, come on, welcome her here to the Mt Isa Rotary Rodeo, Australia's #1 all-round champion cowgirl, Terry Lillyman.
Of course, Terry currently rated 4th in the Nationals. Right, next contestant now will be Netta Wharton.
Yeah, I thought I had a fair chance. I mean, as much as anyone that could, because I've got a good horse, and if I placed in 2 events, I knew I had a fair chance to win it.
17-year-old Shane Kenny took the all-round champion cowboy from New Zealand-born veteran Gary McPhee. Kenny, a former Mt Isa, was determined to win on familiar turf. He won the team rope, placed 2nd in the calf rope and 6th in the steer wrestling. This is his first major all-round title, and he's planning a big future, not only in Australia.
How many years do you reckon you'll spend in Australia before you head over to the States?
Oh, it all depends. I don't know yet. I'd like to get over there as soon as possible.
Australian Professional Rodeo Association President Ian Wharton praised the Mt Isa community and in particular Rotary for organising the event. He says APRA is planning a push into the major cities to heighten rodeo's profile with more compact programs.
There'll be a much condensed program to what Mt Isa's used to. There'll be what we call performance rodeos for those bigger venues because that's what they're used to. Keep it compact.
But there'll still be a place for the country rodeo.
Oh, very much so. Yeah, the country rodeo is an integral part of our series, and we're not about to turn our back on that.
So the crowds can be assured that the Outback's biggest weekend will continue to attract the best rodeo action in the country.
The green of the Australian Cowboys here in action at the Mt Isa Rodeo of 1992. Hello, put your hands together for the young Cowboys.